Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear viewers, welcome to episode number 3, Palestine Part II. I'm your host, Omar Qadri. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for all of the support that you guys have been sending our way from the last 2 episodes. We really do appreciate it. We're here live in Haramain Studios, and we are excited to talk about the 3rd episode, which is a part 2 of Palestine. Before I get into that, I'm going to get the formalities out of the way. Like I always do, Mic'd Up 416 on YouTube. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications. We want to build the subscribers and viewers on there. So please do share the link on YouTube through your friends and families. Share it on your own social media. Spread the awareness and continue to show the love and support. We're also on Instagram, Mic'd Up 416. At Mic'd Up 416. So please do hit that follow button. Send us your comments and your feedback, how you liking the season 3 so far, any ways that we can improve, and topics that you want to talk about. So make sure you do that and hit the follow and continue to show your love and support. And we definitely do appreciate it. And lastly, Haramain TV has been sponsoring the Mic'd Up season 3. So shout out to Asif Bhai and the entire engineering team, as well as Hafiz Yahya in the backstage, who's taking care of everything electronically and all the technicalities. So, Allah bless him very, very much for his time and effort. And if you are on your smartphone devices, please make sure that you download Haramain TV from the Apple Store, Google Play Store, just so you can stay connected on Haramain, the true Islamic source here in Toronto. You can download on the go, and you can listen and watch on the go. Also, for your IPTV providers, make sure that you check in. Make sure that you have Haramain TV. Follow them on Instagram, haramain.tv, at haramain.tv, and on Facebook, Haramain TV. Hit the follow button and share all the Islamic content coming your way. Without further ado, formalities out of the way. Panel over to my right, we bring back Shaykh Aamer, and we have returning back, I guess by popular demand, and unanimously agreed upon, to bring Maulana Zuhair back. Afadahullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the both of you.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah, brothers, again for coming back for episode number 3. And it is definitely needed because some of our talks were left unsaid. Some things were left unsaid. So we want to make sure that we kind of clear the air, kind of go on a different angle. Where are we going from now? We talked a lot heavily about kind of the past. We talked about Sayyidina Omar's Dori Khilafa. We talked about Sayyidina Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. We talked about a lot of history. We talked about definitions of genocide and apartheid and all of those things, which was definitely needed. So we talked about the past and kind of current events that were happening. But I really want to touch on what's the next steps and kind of leading up to what's going to happen. Are we going to lose Palestine? Are we going to, what are we going to see that's going to happen in Islamic history of Palestine? So let's start there. Present day. We often see that countries and leaders are not saying anything. So where I want to start is leadership. What do we look in a leader? First of all, from an Islamic standpoint, who should be designed as a leader to run these countries?
In the Islamic world, we appoint Muslim leaders according to the Sharia, who are following the Sharia. And here in the Western world, we are looking at leaders who we have voted for, that give us the rights of freedom and rights of practicing our beliefs and our cultures and our customs, and we vote upon those people to speak the truth. And when crisis does occur, we are in need of political leaders to stand up when certain events are occurring, such as the genocide in Palestine.
And how about someone who's viewing Zuhair Bhai, who's not a Muslim? What do they look for in a leadership aspect in design, like running our countries?
So when running a country, like we're speaking about the Islamic way of running a country. I'm not mistaken, right?
Or for people who non-Islamic.
Non-Islamic as well. I think last time we spoke about, like, for example, leadership. So leadership, what does leadership contain? And I think last time we spoke about topics such as the biased view, like what's an Islamic caliphate. Even in that, when we have non-Muslims looking at that, then what we look for is justice.
Right.
We look for actual equality. We actually look for actual like support of the people who are what we see as minority.
Right.
So I think these are some of the aspects that we look for when it comes to leadership and how they view things unbiasedly as well. They're approachable. They're transparent.
Do you think that's even possible from a liberal aspect? Do you think that's even possible in our day and age?
Me personally, I don't think it's possible with the system that we're currently dependent on. So when you speak about democracy, when you speak about like the democratic, like I feel like I don't think there's a way. I think it's just a lesser of the two evils.
Right.
From even if you want to call it that, which I disagree on that aspect as well. But for me, if I were to speak on in terms of that, I think the only way possible is obviously an Islamic caliphate.
Very well said. Do we see in an Islamic world, do we see the Islamic way of running a country? Same question, but from an Islamic standpoint. Do we see those type of Islamic governors?
No, we don't see that right now. Is the reason why, because none of the Islamic countries, including Saudi Arabia, including Turkey, including Pakistan, including Jordan or Egypt, and majority of these countries that have power, we do not see Islamic governorship at all. We see an Islamic people, but we see the followers of Islam, but we don't see the leader following anything to do with the Islamic rule. The rulingship that the Islamic rulers are following, it is absolutely a conspiracy, and it is a propaganda. And it is one world method that everyone is following, and in the name of nationalism, and they are scripted. They are these people who are appointed by these certain people in this one world concept. So you see them when the genocide is occurring or catastrophe is happening. We see all of them are silent in the matter. It's scripted already. So we see the faults in them.
Are you okay to say some names?
Of
these people that you're talking
countries?
Yeah.
No, okay, let's start with Egypt. Egypt because Egypt is because the ulama of Egypt, and people criticize the ulama of Egypt a lot with how they do things, but try to understand the culture in Egypt right now. The ulama do not have the freedom of speaking about these specific topics that are occurring. They are scripted, and there's a wazir in that area, such as, say, we MPs. They will give them the Jummah topic, and they have to follow it, and whatever the Jummah topic is, such as in Egypt. Right. So Egypt is bounded. The ulama are bounded to speak, and they are not allowed to speak about the matters that are concerning the Ummah right now.
Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia was founded on nationalism.
Right.
First. After Israel, Saudi Arabia was also constructed in the name of Saudi, of their king, of their name, of their legion. And they were also one of the puppets of the Western world.
Right.
And that's why.
I think Saudi Arabia, I think it's the only country in the world that's named after a family as well.
Wow.
There's no other country named after that.
And also, so
are you saying that nationalism is something that has taken over our Muslim leaders' way of running a country?
Yeah, nationalism has taken over because it is a way to govern their people according to the leadership and the rulingship of that country. And to do that, they need these leaders to maintain the awam. And it is very important for them that, one, the ulama and the imams are maintained, and then also the public is maintained then. This is why they script the ulama of not saying anything. But there are ulama who speak out, and they are jailed, and they do get imprisoned, but they've never been spoken about. Even in Saudi Arabia, there are ulama that speak out against the kingdom, and they are jailed. And we don't speak about them, and they torture them, and they kill them. Some have died in jail.
Right.
And they do speak about all the nonsense that is going on in that country, and that country is... of Hijaz is Pak for us.
Yeah.
Okay, and it is a land where Nabi Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had came. He has passed away. He is veiled in that country, meaning that whole area is Pak. That is where the Sahabas have stepped foot. There can never be any type of idol worship, shirk, or any other type of religion there except Islam. But we've seen the traditions of Halloween and Valentine's Day, and you know, they're starting the LGB and they're starting the Komelut conferences and all this and that over there too. And we're seeing this, and it's around you, it's surrounding you. So how can this be an Islamic country?
So you touch base on one world ideology. Is that the Zuhair bhai, is that the ideology that we see that starts with Palestine, like meaning the sabotaging of the people of Palestine and stuff? One world, there's another word for it as well, new world.
New world, I think another synonym for that is the matrix, right? So now the definition of a matrix is someone, I was having a discussion with someone, and they said that the matrix is something where you have laws, you have an idea that you want to pose on the people. If you go against the idea, then there's repercussions. So hypothetically, playing the devil's advocate, someone can say Islam is also a matrix. Hypothetically speaking, right? Because in there you have rules, you have regulations, and then if you don't abide by them, then there's punishment. So hypothetically, playing the devil's advocate, you can say that Islam is also a matrix. But what differentiates Islam from the matrix? Or it's called false religion. So everyone's against it's a false religion, and then there's a true religion. And in the true religion, we have rules and regulations, and they all make sense. It's all for humanity. Like I think we spoke last time, and it was we have to learn about it. And if you learn about it, you know, it's all propaganda, it's all media. And
so who's involved in this ideology of New World Order or the one type of ideology? Because we often see, the reason why I'm saying that is there's more to just what's happening in Palestine. There's a whole regime behind it.
You can say it's a web, right? It's a whole web. So you can, like, mashallah, how Shaykh Aamer touched upon nationalism, and then you have democracy, then you have atheism, then you have all these isms as well. I think they're all interconnected in one way or another to actually like deceive you, to put you, to blindfold you against what's actually happening, what the reality is.
Right. So do you think that has something to play with why these leaders are not talking? Is because they're a part of this ideology? And if it is that ideology, what is it? Where is it going? Where did it stem from?
Palestine is the only country that is not a part of this nationalism around the world. Palestine is the only country that is standing out against this one world rule that Brother Zuhair has spoken about. This matrix that we're dealing with. Palestine is an example to all Muslims right now not to follow this ideology. Palestine right now is a prime example to wake or awaken the human beings around the world, and khusus the Muslims around the world. And we're seeing this because we've been seeing oppression and we're seeing discrimination against Islam, firstly, over there.
So it's not a Palestinian thing, it's a Muslim thing.
It's anti-Islam.
And coming to that as well, and for example, you're saying an Islamic country, Islamic rules. The thing is, what I think is they use the same arguments with this and atheism as well. I find that there's a similarity. Why? Because when they look at Islamic, for example, we take Pakistan, and Shaykh Aamer can expand on that. We take Pakistan, we say this is an Islamic country. It was based upon the teachings of Islam, but it's selective. So you have some maybe rules or some laws that are abiding with the Sharia law, and then you have some that are against it, which are actually taken from the democratic. Now atheism, they do the same thing. When you argue with an atheist, what they say is like, oh, your God is all what do you call it? He punishes people, he has wrath and this and that. But you're not looking at the whole picture. You got to look at the whole picture. Islam, you can't just see it as oppressive, or you can't just see it as, oh, they have war rules. I mean, the democratic countries have that too.
Right.
But you have to look at the other side. We're trying to provide justice. Atheism, same thing. You're not looking at the whole picture. He's also Al-Ghafur Ar-Rahim. Right. You have to look at that as well. So I think there is a similarity in between these two. And even if it is an Islamic country, I think they're picking and choosing.
Right. And also, there's no sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is claimed as Allah to be zalim.
He can be zalim because He's not oppressing. It's his ownership, right?
So I want to get to a little bit deep dive into the matter in regards to Is there a deeper meaning to what is happening in Palestine? Are you not surprised that this is, like, truthfully, I'm not surprised because we know from the prophetic teachings we're going to lose Palestine. Throughout history, we have. Sayyidina Omar went in, conquered it. Sayyidina Salahuddin, we talked about this last episode. So, what's next? Are you surprised first? Let's talk about that. Are you surprised what's happening in Palestine right now?
No, it's been like 75 years already. It's been happening, but we are surprised about the silence. We are surprised about the silence of humanity, and we are surprised about the outcome that the Muslim world has done. It has done nothing. The silencing of the Islamic world and the prime ministers, and especially here in Ajam, in the foreign world here that we live in such countries, Canada, USA, and Russia, etc. These countries that are democratic and liberal, but we see them even in their policies that they contradict the policies as well. So we are not surprised in that sense, because in the prophetic teachings it does say that again Palestine will be conquered. It does say again the Khilafat is going to be restored. It did say Imam Mahdi will come. It did say that the black flags of Khorasan will come. And to black
Help
flags,
the army of Imam Mahdi.
Yeah.
Beware of the black flags; they'll come from Khorasan. Absolutely. But Zuhair, I find there is a deep connection that we're not getting to. Why are they attacking Palestine? It's not just about the land. It has to be something deeper than that. So, I just want to pick your brain. Where? What is it? What is it?
So I think when it comes to that, first and foremost, you said do we accept it? What do we do? Do you think it's normal? We know it's going to happen. It's in the prophetic hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that this is going to happen. The Muslim Ummah is going to face calamities, and this is all going to happen. Now we see the iman of the Palestinians in this matter. Hada qadruna. They're accepting it, but at the same time, I think there's two outcomes to that. The first one is they're just laid back. They're saying, okay, you know what, this is the Imam Mahdi is gonna come. He'll fix everything. Everything's gonna happen. And then there's the other one, the extreme side, who take it too extreme to the other level. Right. Like for example, like actual going on by themselves and terrorizing this and that, etc. So I think for us, we have to take the middle path and we have to combine both of them and try to rectify ourselves. Because remember, even when we talked about the episode before this, where you talked about Nuruddin al-Zangi, you talked about Sayyidina Omar radiallahu anhu. The intifada came from themselves. They blended in that picture of Islam and they fixed it upon themselves, and then they conveyed it to others as well. Right. So I think that's one of the.
No, I think that's a good point. Is the middle ground is always that ground. We can't be extreme right or extreme left. And we have to take the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah is the middle path. Alhamdulillah. Why are these Islamic countries not speaking out? Why? Like, what's stopping them from speaking out?
There'll be precautions. They'll be persecuted. They'll be killed as well. They're also handcuffed with this one world system that we have. They don't get paid. They will not. They have wages.
Are you talking about the leaders, so-called leaders, or the ulama?
No. I don't even want to get. So the ulama, no?
Okay, the leaders. So, sorry, just to add on what you said, I think it's the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam where it's you'll be the foam of the scum of the sea, and the reason for that is because you'll have wahan in you. So, like you said, you have the love for the dunya. There's a waqi of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu as well. I think when he was conquering, one of his Amir were conquering Alexandria, and I think it's been 2 years. And they still didn't conquer. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he said that it has nothing to do with how many people you have. There's something in your heart that you have to change. Wow. And he wrote a letter and he penned it to the Amir of that conquest. And he said that you guys have to fix yourself. There's been 2 years and you're trying to conquer Alexandria. And the reason why you didn't, because you love the world like your enemy loves the world.
Allahu Akbar.
So the beginning of the hadith, where Brother Zuhair mentioned as well, the beginning of the hadith was where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the kuffar will pick you out and eat you as they eat their meals. Meaning they will devour you like they are eating their meals. Meaning there's a Muslim here, kill him. There's a Muslim here, kill him. There's a Muslim here, kill him. So Sahabis asked, Ya Rasulullah, why is it? Because are we going to be outnumbered?
Right.
And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no, you will be in majority. And then the hadith continues where Brother Zuhair said, you will be like the vast of the ocean, but you will be the scum and the foam from the ocean shores. And then again, then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, why? It's because you will have wahan in your heart. And you have the love for the dunya, and you will be scared to die.
1948 sparked another historical event as well. Islamic Republic of Pakistan was created. On what grounds was it created? So people are probably thinking why I'm talking about. You'll see in a second that we're talking about why we're saying it. In 1948, Islamic Republic of Pakistan was created, and it got its independence from India and the British rule. So, on what grounds was Pakistan formed?
Look, the fikr of the people and the ulama and the politicians at that time were that the Republic of Pakistan, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, should be independent from India because of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And there's nothing else. Meaning they believed that the Muslims should be having another homeland of their own where they have the liberty of worshiping their religion with no interference. And this was happening in India at that time, where again Muslims were being through another genocide, and we've seen the riots in Gujarat even still happen, and this was happening even in the before the riots of Gujarat, like way earlier. We've seen in South India the Muslims were being massacred. In Punjab the Muslims were being massacred. Our forefathers, me and you, Omar, we migrated from Afghanistan to Punjab, and our grandfathers and our elders have told us that how the Punjabis and Sikhs and Hindus actually treated the Muslims. Yeah. It was rivalry, and there was always tension. But that's not everywhere in India. But majority of the Muslims that migrated, they migrated from either Sindh, of which we will say the south of India, and Punjab. This is the majority where the partition occurred. Right. And there was a Sindh in India, and there was Punjab of India, which then became Sindh of Pakistan, and then Punjab of Pakistan. A majority of the people came from these places, and only on the basis of Islam. But now, which we see, Pakistan has continued to fail, right, and it's going downhill every single year in every way possible. The strangest events that we have never heard in any other country is happening in Pakistan. That is not because the people of Pakistan are not educated, because English is spoken actually first in Pakistan as well. Then Urdu. If you go Islamabad, you have Karachi. Karachi is our financial capital of Pakistan. People are well educated there. There's a reason why it's there. And the port is over there. Okay. And as you said, Punjab is.
We've excelled in textile. We've excelled in engineering.
It's the most fertile place in the world. Pakistan,
harvest
Punjab
is very good there as well.
And Pakistan has lots of resources. It's a beautiful country. Yeah. Has lots.
Do you
of
think?
potential.
I'm just going to get right to it, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm just going to get right to it. Is Pakistan going to free Palestine?
Look, we have aspirations and we have hope that someone will liberate and help Palestine. What it's looking right now and the situation where Pakistan has the best army in the world. It has the best army in the world. Sure. And it has the best air force in the world.
Right.
They have.
So why are they quiet?
They have nuclears. They have nuclear weapon.
So you're saying all of this? They have all this. Why are they not doing anything? Zuhair bhai.
Why aren't they doing anything?
Why do you think they're not doing anything?
For me personally, I'm not a fan of the democratic situation in Pakistan in the first place. Yeah. I mean, they have all of this. They claim that they're like, I'm like 25 years old. Ever since I was a kid, I'm hearing this. Pakistan has the best army. Pakistan has a thing. I'm not going
No.
against what Sheikh Aamer said, but Pakistan has this.
But
If
what we're
Pakistan
trying to say,
wanted-
what actually we're trying to say, because look,
Because there's a lot of people
Yeah.
who are
No,
from
no.
Pakistan
No, we
they
get
say all
criticized.
this.
and
we
saying
get
that
criticized.
Pakistan's going to free Palestine.
We get criticized, and I do get criticized. Oh, you're talking about Pakistan all the time. But you know what? I have the right to talk about Pakistan because I'm Pakistani. I'm going to denounce our faults first before I can point a finger to anyone else.
Yep.
Who am I? Who do we? Why do we have the right to say Turkey and Saudi and this first? I'm going to speak about the problems of our country first, our forefathers, and that's Pakistan. And it's, as I said, is going down and down and down.
Yep.
Every single year. Like there is some type of event that we have never heard before. There's electricity bills. There's poverty is gone to a limit where inflation has gone to a limit where it has created poverty to a limit where people are in the street, people cannot afford bills, like people are doing protests regarding this. Prime ministers can't speak one word of English, but then you claim yourself to be from the Constitution and legislation of the British, but it's a total joke. It's hilarious.
So is it safe to say that they're in the pocket of this new world
I agree.
revolution, sorry.
Yes.
It's in front of you.
This ideology.
There's quiet. We said this. Which country is standing up?
Whoever is quiet, is it safe to say? Whoever is quiet, is it safe to say any leader from any country, what's regarding this Palestinian issue, anyone that is quiet, is it safe to say that they are in this ideology?
In the Quran, it states clearly when your Muslim brother is being oppressed, jihad is fard upon you. Jihad is fard upon them to help and liberate your Muslims around you. Pakistan right now needs to wake up or needs to at least advocate regarding in solidarity with Palestine.
Yeah, I think it's a false impression where, for instance,
When we have North Korea,
yeah,
that atheist prime minister is communist to the core. He has a finger on the table and he has scared the world. And he has spoken out against the matters. And he even just said, we are with the people of Palestine. Pakistan has yet to say that. The political party of Pakistan has yet to say this.
Right.
And remember, we're going to differentiate between the people, not the people, and not the awam.
Yeah.
We're talking about the political regime here. This needs to fall.
Right.
Where the Pakistani people do not deserve such torment and they do not deserve what the political party is doing to its people and has failed the people in economy, it has failed them in reputation, and has failed them Islamically.
we're speaking of Palestine, how Pakistan has failed Palestine. Pakistan, if you look at it, what are they doing for Kashmir?
And I
In their own
said
country.
this in Jumu'ah, and I said Pakistan, and I mean the democratic system,
Exactly.
has failed to the name Islamic Republic of Pakistan
Exactly,
because
yeah.
Kashmir is still bleeding.
Exactly.
But where I'm getting at, and again, just like last episode, I was getting
Like
to
we
a
did
point.
stupidness where we shot down. We had an intruder that came into Pakistan with an airplane, the F-16, and was shot down. Now we have Muslims who are imprisoned in India by Sharia law. What the treaty should have been, the approach should have been, when we give this pilot back to you, free all of the prisoners that are in India first. Secondly, if not, liberate some of the people, the freedom fighters in Kashmir, and do something in regards to that. But what did we see? The total opposite and the stupidity.
We gave them a cup of chai.
We gave them a cup of chai. Okay,
MashaAllah.
you know, a cup of chai has nothing to do. This is the treatment and the clause of how do we deal with prisoners. This is nothing to be that infame about. This is normal. If you're following the Sharia, this should have been broadcasted. This is this should have been. This is no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You're treating them prisoner, no problem. But you gave him back without having anything back.
In return.
in return. And this shows again that this is not governed by independence. It is governed by a phone call from Prince Philip. You got a phone call from the Queen. You got something.
It's King George.
Whatever. And that's it. And you know
At
what?
that time
Free
it was
him.
the Queen still,
Yes.
but yeah. Who should be running Pakistan right now? Which political party?
I'm not sure about the political party, the way it should be run. I'm not Pakistani. I'm Canadian Pakistani. I think you should ask the people of Pakistan because they deserve, just like we should ask the people of Palestine of who they should choose to govern. And it's not a political party that someone has appointed. It should be given to the people of Palestine, and that's their matter. But who should come into power of Pakistan? Sharia should.
Right.
And whoever is following the Sharia.
Agreed.
Right.
And secondly, people who are ulama and scholars. They should be in power who are following the Sharia. And they should be our new leaders.
Right. And we see that in that we last episode. So for everyone who hasn't obviously watched part one, first of all, they should, because we discussed that under the rule of Muslims, the righteous Muslims, obviously we've seen the ability to live amongst each other. We're giving rights to non-Muslims, so on and so forth. So we discussed that. Now, why am I asking you all of this? People have an understanding that it's going to be the people, the awam, that is going to free Palestine. It looks like that now because nobody's talking. Is that where we're going next? What's happening next? The Intifada?
Intifada is the revolution.
Is it going to be from the people? So it's just going to be a bunch of people that are going to liberate Palestine?
No. It is going to be a revolution, a civil war that is going to occur in the Islamic world.
Right.
In every country.
Right.
From there, again, the people are going to choose a governed party that is going to represent them. And that's how the Khilafah is going to start. And that's how it's going to form. We're not going to have now...
Does that mean that Palestine will be liberated?
Palestine is going to be liberated by the Khilafah.
Right.
It's going to be liberated before Imam Mahdi.
The ayah of the Quran comes into mind. I have it in front of me where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states that indeed Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change themselves. So I feel like answering your question, I think they do feel like, I feel like the people themselves, they see the change. I don't want to talk about the leaders. We know that they're sold out, but the people themselves, I think like they're awakening up. They're awakening up and they're seeing like, you know, what the oppression is and what like this Western world, this democracy, they're seeing what it is. So I feel like that the people will.
We should also stop dreaming, the people.
Take action.
We need action.
Right.
And also, we're too much into this daydream that one person coming is going to liberate at one time. Yeah. It will happen. The prophetic prophecies that Nabi Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has spoken about, these things are going to happen. But a change, as Brother Zuhair has spoken about, we're awaiting for Imam Mahdi, but I am waiting for you to come to read Fajr Salah.
Subhanallah.
Do you understand?
The test is not the test.
Go ahead.
Is not on the people of Palestine. We see it. We saw the videos. One of Shaykh Aamer's videos went a little viral with the mother who was holding her child who was martyred, and they were, "We'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Subhanallah.
See you next day." The test is on
Us.
Subhanallah. What are we doing about it? So staying silent in the matter. We also discussed that last week, but also it comes back to one thing, because people don't understand the context and what he just said. So in Jumu'ah, he says, you think you're going to go fight the war to liberate Palestine, but you can't fight your pillow.
You can't fight your pillow.
And wake up for
You're
Fajr Salah.
weightlifting like 150
Exactly.
pound, 250 pound.
But you can't lift the blanket off your head bed when you're...
Subhanallah.
Mister.
We often see in previous, especially because Ramadan is around the corner.
And the Ramadan Muslims are going to come out again.
No, but meaning to say that we often
Those
see
are the liberal folks.
every Ramadan, they
I have to
storm
read my
into-
tarawihs right on time. I just have to do this, and I'm somehow I get salvation. Like this mentality.
We
Like,
often
come
see
off of Ramadan.
Seasonal Muslims, you call
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. But where I'm getting at, we see a lot of
But then you don't see them at the protests. You don't see them boycotting. You don't see them speaking out against the aggression. And
we'll get to those people. But
Zulum.
what I'm saying is every Ramadan you see the Zionist regime go into Masjid al-Aqsa. There's a misconception. They think because there's the Temple Mount for the Jews, right? And they believe that is the last standing structure of the temple that was built by that was destroyed during the time of the Crusaders, and that was built by Sayyidina Musa. But why do they want Masjid al-Aqsa? Why do they have such a issue with Masjid al-Aqsa? And going into Masjid al-Aqsa, storming into Masjid al-Aqsa, shooting our people down with rubber bullets, treating our sanctuary, Masjid al-Qibli and Bayt al-Maqdis, treating it like complete trash. What is their purpose? Do they want something from Masjid al-Aqsa?
Yeah, they do, because they have from their prophecies, they have claimed that a king or a Moshaykh or Messiah, correct me what these
Antichrist, I think,
terminologies.
right?
Yeah, and I'm just trying to name what they say.
Mm.
We claim himself as Antichrist, but what are the terminologies that they have? Their Messiah is
Yeah.
coming. They believe he's a prophet, right? They're going to believe that. We don't. They do.
Yeah.
And that's where his takht is going to be. That's where it should have been.
So what about
This-
Solomon's treasure? Solomon's temple, Solomon's treasure.
Well, look, in the Islamic belief, Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, when again the Bani Israel were causing issues, and the Quran speaks about this again, there has many trials that came at the time of Hazrat Sulaiman, such as black magic came down,
Right.
and such as all of, and as you see, all of that sanctuary of Masjid al-Aqsa was created by the jinns anyways. So at this time, this trial came. So these people are fantasizing on black magic
Right.
and evil spirits and jinnat, and their religion is based on half of this supernatural thinking and belief system. So they also get this type of power from the
Illuminati?
other side, who do these traditions
Is it safe to
spells.
say?
And,
Part of the Illuminati?
People would call you a conspiracy theorist if you say this thing, but that's not what it is. Evil, like this is evil. Like the root of it obviously comes from like how Shaykh Aamer said that jinns and black magic, and this is all from the world that we can't see, right?
Right.
And we believe in that. We have to believe in that. That's one of the ghaib. We believe in that, the unseen.
Right.
And this plays a role in this as well. As much as people would like to call it a conspiracy theory, this and that, I feel like that has a big role to play.
So you often see that these people are digging underneath Masjid al-Aqsa. And they're trying to get to Solomon's treasure. So not often shown. Because even if you Google Masjid al-Aqsa, Bayt al-Maqdis comes.
Hmm.
The entire haram is Masjid al-Aqsa.
Masjid al-Aqsa.
And Masjid al-Qibli was created at the time of Sayyidina Omar. But what do they want? Why do they keep digging underneath to get? Is it a conspiracy, or is it factual that
but
Sayyidina
also they
Sulaiman
believe,
alayhi salam-
they believe in also, look, the conflict is that they do believe in Hazrat Sulaiman. We do as well.
Mm.
We don't believe that perhaps that Sulaiman alayhi salam's takht was there. Maybe that's their belief. Because Masjid al-Aqsa was created by Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam.
Right.
And, and it's mentioned in the Quran that even when he was passing away, his
jinn
ishara
understood.
was like this, and the jinns were afraid of him. So there is this belief. We do. It's in the Quran. We have Surah Jinn named after this as well. That there is another makhluk that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made, and it is jinns. But Sulaiman alayhi salam, and for them to dig under is just a way for them just to create this, again, propaganda, so then they can have a takht of the Antichrist come there, and this is their belief. Because even in our belief, that when the Antichrist comes, it will come in the surrounding areas of Bayt al-Maqdis.
Right.
So he will appear in this part
Right.
of the world. He
Yeah,
will
yeah,
come to
yeah.
Palestine.
Yeah.
He is going to come.
The war will happen there.
And the war will happen there.
I think the relics as well. I think the staff of Sulaiman alayhi salam, and then also the ring of Sulaiman alayhi salam too.
Yeah.
relics.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's a deeper meaning between what's happening in Palestine. And we often see about the digging and stuff like that. And
But we as Muslims are the correct believers of we have greater iman. They don't have iman. We have iman.
Right.
Allah has blessed us iman. Sulaiman alayhi salam was Muslim.
Alhamdulillah.
From their system, they were Yahud. They went astray. They don't believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we deem them as kuffar.
Right.
So their ideology is completely different from our ideologies.
Do you believe in a two-state solution?
No, two-state solution can never happen. It's
Why?
the same thing because you're accepting the apartheid. We're not going to allow a two-state solution.
Zionists always say that they've given equal rights to Palestinians because Palestinians are in the judicial system. There's doctors who are Palestinian, lawyers, and so on and so forth. And then there are Palestinians who get treated properly in Palestine. But we talk about Hebron, Zuhair Bhai, or Khalil. In our words, we would say Khalil. It's an area where Sayyidina Ibrahim is, alayhi salatu salam. And literally, you can't walk on one side of the road if you're Palestinian. Right? And people come out of their homes and there's a checkpoint outside their house. To leave your home, you have to be checked in.
Exactly.
So these are the things that they don't really talk about, but they say that we gave you Gaza, we gave you the West Bank, right? When you talk about Jenin and Sheikh Jarrah and all of these places, and Al-Quds Sharif, Jerusalem. So we've given you all that. What else do you want?
We want to have sovereignty over what we call Israel, and again, be under the commandship of Palestinians. That's what we want.
On what grounds?
On the ground that they have taken over Palestine deliberately through genocide, through war crimes, and not through the conditions of any constitution.
Right.
They have deliberately done what the colonial system has done wherever it went around the world. It killed off the indigenous people, the natives of Australia, the natives of America, Canada, and the natives, even there was natives actually in the UK as well.
Really?
They were living, yes. So where these people came from, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, these people are from
Austria.
These people are from
Poland.
These people are maybe from Iceland. I don't know which land, but they don't belong here. You need to leave this country and go to Florida, where you always go. And you 99.9% you do go to Florida.
when we say get out of Palestine, Zuhair Bhai, like from a, let's say, non-Islamic point of view, let's just talk as Canadians, chatting for a second.
Yeah.
Get out of our country. Does that sound a little extreme?
So you're telling the Palestinians to get out of their country? Or you're telling us for...
No, we're saying for we don't believe in a two-state solution.
Yeah.
It should be just for the Palestinians, and that's the Palestinian Christians and the Palestinian Muslims.
Yep.
So if we tell the Zionist regime, the IDF, to get out, don't we sound like a little extremist?
Get out on the basis of obviously because you're bombing us and you're taking away our rights and you're taking...
You give us the same artillery that you have. Then it's going to be a war.
What do you mean?
You give us planes and F-16s as well. You give us airports.
We can't
give us the weapons. You don't give us rocks and stones. We've been fighting all our life with rocks and stones. You give us on the same grounds that you have the same weapons, or give us allowance and stop blocking funds from the Islamic world that goes to the people of Palestine, so where they can actually get weapons and then actually fight you back on the same grounds.
This is Shaykh Aamer, what he's saying. For instance, we can't call this a war. Because a war is, if you take, it's not a war, it's a genocide, first and foremost, right? Because one party has all this access from everywhere. The other party just completely blocked off. And then you're calling this a war. I don't think this is a war. I think this is a genocide. 100%. You're having people like being bombed.
They know that if the weapons come in the hands of Palestine, they know what we're going to do to them, what they have done to us in 75 years. They know what is going to happen.
See, when we say things like that, wouldn't somebody say, oh, look, this is exactly what Hamas is like? I want to touch on Hamas.
Okay, yeah.
Because, you just want to kill us. Mm-hmm. Because they read our books. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
They read. And they know that, the hadith of the Prophet, there's going to be a Jew behind the tree. The tree's going to speak out. There's a Jew behind me. Kill him. They use this. So they say that you guys are going to kill us, so we're just going to get to it first.
Shaykh, I think the misconception is they know how to read, but they don't know how to understand.
Right.
So they read all this, but like it's just parroting what the Quran says. We know that, for example, if it was just black and white, like they think it is, then we wouldn't have like these tafsir. We wouldn't have the tafsir of Imam Qurtubi. We wouldn't have the tafsir of Imam Tabari. 40 volumes of explaining what the Quran is, sunnahs, and then the grades of them. So I think they're just reading off of that. I think that's where they're getting their misconception from. Right?
It will happen.
What?
It will happen.
No, but
It
what I'm
is going
saying
to
is,
happen.
hold on.
It is going to happen.
Okay, but one
Because
second.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is adil. And no,
sure.
I'm not, listen, I'm not claiming any type of hurt or pain lawfully to anyone. This is not what Islam is. You have destroyed our families. You have destroyed our
So an eye for an eye?
now we give us the same artillery, then they'll be on the fairground. That's it. That's what I think of it. You can't allow us not to have any weapons and then say it's a war and then claim that there's a ruling party of Hamas and make up these fake photos and fake, like, what do you call it? The underground elevators that they had made and this and that. And up to now, we have not found one Hamas leader. Up to now, we have not found one of the Hamas.
Do you believe in Hamas?
I believe in Hamas.
No, the thing is with Hamas.
Is Hamas real?
I look in history.
Hamas did rule over Gaza.
Yeah, Hamas is.
They were a political party.
Hamas is a political party that is actually recognized by the UN. It is recognized as a political party of Palestine.
Didn't UK or US or something? They put them on the list of terrorist groups. I think recently.
Yeah, they just did.
They did, right?
Yeah. So they put them as terrorists. Now we have Palestinians now.
If you're going to deem Hamas as a terrorist, then you have to deem IDF
Israel as a terrorist. That's what I was going to say.
as well. We will denounce Hamas if you denounce IDF, and if you want, and then let the people choose. It wasn't. I also believe, in my eyes, I also believe that the people have not chosen Hamas as their governing party, but they have no choice because they're the only ones right now who are fighting.
So
for
Hamas,
Palestine.
so Hamas killed some, so to speak. Hamas killed some Israeli people, 40 people.
40 babies.
Yeah, 40 babies or whatever they did.
Still waiting for the evidence.
Do you, if that's true, we haven't seen videos or pictures or anything like that. That's where it stemmed from, right? On October the 7th. If that is true, do you condemn what they have done?
That question right there, do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn this? That's the whole point. The thing is, we don't have a problem. I think I can say this across the board, that Islam and the Muslims, and you can even put the ulama in this, you can put the leaders in this, that we don't have a problem denouncing people who go against the Sharia, even if they call themselves Muslims.
Yeah.
So for instance, if Hamas did hypothetically kill 40 babies, or if they did do this, they do that, we don't have a problem with that. Because obviously, like I said, it's an objective view, right? But then we expect the same from them, right? They don't do that. And then you're deeming Hamas as a terrorist organization because they're attacking Israel, but what about the IDF? That you can take that from the analogy of, for example, someone taking you and locking you up in a bathroom, and then you're doing whatever you have to do. Now, if he comes out of that bathroom to fight you, why are you a terrorist?
Yeah.
They locked up Palestinians in the open air prison, like we discussed last time. And now, if they're fighting back, why are they called terrorists? Why is that terrorism? Isn't that just defending themselves? Just like how Ukraine is defending
the point.
themselves?
75 years you've been taking over. You've been bullying them and putting them down and so on and so forth. Once in a while, dropping a couple bombs in there and so on and so forth in the name of trying to find Hamas. And you can't say that they don't have a right to defend themselves.
Yeah, and that's right? if we can find the proof of the 40 babies being killed, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to look at the facts here. We have to fact check. Like, for example, there's no confusion on what the IDF is doing with the public. Like we said last time, 100 to 1.
Yeah.
100-to-1 ratio. We see the baby, we see the kids, we see the families being disowned, we see the fathers being killed, we see the mothers, we see them being dehomed from their families and stuff. But where's the proof on the other side? Where's the 40 babies being killed? Where are the people being, like, for example, the prisoners that are being released? Look at the difference. When Hamas is releasing prisoners, they're smiling. They're waving.
It's like the game from Disney World.
Yeah.
And they're reciting the Quran better than these liberal Muslims.
And then comparing it to the hostages that are being released from the IDF, they have broken hands, they have acid on their face. The sisters, they're na'udhu billah, they're deformed. It's a very sad state. So why aren't they being labeled as terrorism? Why is it only us?
See, I think the misconception always is that we're not ready to condemn acts of terror. In order for it to be an act of terror, there has to be 100% integrity and transparency in the news that's been given to us, the facts that have been given to us. We are the first people to say that ISIS, Boko Haram, Daesh, all of these people are terrorists. And we say we condemn, they have nothing to do with Islam. This is not Islam.
Mm-hmm.
So if Hamas, to your point, did this, then we would condemn.
We condemn it. There's no problem.
We would, because you don't do that to innocents, because that's against the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. But here's my point. Why are they, IDF, IOF, they're not on defense, they're on offense. Why can they not, with the weaponry, with the intelligence apparently that they have, why couldn't they go into Gaza on a mission to go in, and if it was against Hamas? This is what tells us it's not about Hamas.
Come face to face, right? Man to man type of thing.
Yeah.
You're killing babies. You're accusing us of using human shields. We haven't seen a proof of that, and you're claiming that with us, or you're claiming that with the Palestinians. I'm saying us in the reference of the Palestinian, because us and Palestinian were the same, right? So you're blaming us that we have human shields, we have babies, and women we're using as shields. So there's no proof of that. But why don't you come man to man, face to face, or you fight as a man? You see them running away from soldiers. Actual, like, come on, we've seen the videos where you have one soldier, he's scaring off like 5 or 6, and they're running with diapers and stuff.
What is next for Palestine? What do you see happening next? What needs to happen for the people to gain their freedom and their rights?
There's only one solution, and there's only going to be one solution no matter which way you look at it. It will and it has to be liberated, one, because the solution is actually not abiding what Israel is doing. That's one. Palestinians are not going to surrender. We're not going to ever surrender. We shall never surrender. This is our homeland. It's an Islamic historical place for us. We will never do this. So let's get that out of the way. What needs to achieve is that everyone needs to recognize Palestine from the non-Muslim world, and it needs Palestine, their rights to be given back to them. One, now. Secondly, the reconstruction of Gaza needs to occur. Hospitals need to be built again. And again, the kids that are orphaned, they need to be taken care of. Women need to be taken care of who have lost their husbands. A zakat fund, as one of the sheikhs have said, needs to be collected and given straight to them. This year's zakat has to go to Gaza. It has to go to Palestine. That's it. There's no here or there. It has to go straight to Gaza. And ceasefire needs to be forever. It should be not until or unless you give us the same weaponry so the people of Palestine can fight back and defend themselves. You cannot give them rocks and stones versus AK-47s and AR-19s, whatever they're
AR-15s.
AR-15s. So, again, having them to surrender, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Us condemning, it's never going to happen.
Right.
We're not going to condemn. This is another propaganda.
Yeah.
Just keep on thinking that we have to keep on apologizing. Why do we have to keep apologizing?
Right.
We never did anything. You took our land. Give our land back.
Right.
Just like how the South Africans woke up and they got their land back through boycotting, through help. You have leaders like Nelson Mandela, who was not scared, and
He went to jail for it.
He spoke out with his people and against what the people were doing, the racist white people that were doing, and South Africa was liberated. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, and then coming back to the point where fighting on fair grounds, I personally, I don't think that will happen either. Fighting on, they will never do it. Never, right? They won't give you artillery. And then the same concept of we relying, like, subhanAllah, look at the state of the Palestinians, that because of their, the iman, we can say the faith that they have, we have the people of the West, you have a lot of them, they're converting to Islam. They're like, how do they have this much belief? Their homes are broken, their kids are dying, their families being broken, their homes are gone, but they still have so much tranquility, they have so much peace, they have so much. What is it that comes back to the same faith that the Sahaba alayhim ridwan had during their battles? They're outnumbered 313 to the other number 1,000. So I think even here, for example, the Palestinians, they don't rely on the other countries, they only rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't rely on fighting on fair grounds. That's not going to happen. But we know Aqsa, inshallah, Palestine is going to be liberated as well. We're not like this, but inshallah we have faith, and we're going to see something, inshallah. And like Shaykh Omar said, that it's a test on us. We're the ones being tested right now. Who is with the Palestine? Who is with Palestine? Who is with the people of the Palestine? And who is not? Who's silent? Who is staying quiet? I think that plays a big role as well.
Zuhair, about your message to two-part question. Your message to the people who have iman and are continuing to do things, protests and all of that. What's your message to them? Second, what's your message to the one who's not really a religious person or anything, wants to do their part but doesn't know what to do?
So I think that's a very good breakdown as well. So what can we do next? What's the next step? So I think you break it down into two. The people who believe, the people who are Muslim, what they do is they use this as a motivation and they build on themselves. The community is built upon the individuals themselves. You don't find a community, everyone has to build on themselves in order to make a proper community. And then from that community a nation is made. And then from that nation, you have a selective leader. You can't pick an imam from the people who go to a bar. They're going to have to be people who pray for them to become imams. They need to have that knowledge. So for them, I would say that use this motivation, learn about Islam, continue to fast, continue to pray. That's the least we can do. And one of the hadith, ad-du'a silahul mu'minin, is the weapon of the believer. So the least we can do as Muslims is pray for them. And then there's various hadith regarding specifically Palestine that you have to send lanterns or light to them. And then we have to pray for them, oil. So I think the least we can do is dua. And then the basis of everything, whether it's Muslims or non-Muslims, is to get information, to learn about it, and verify the information. And then once you know more, inshallah, then I feel like that's the first step. And then
what motivation would you give, lastly, to the people who are out there on the streets and are protesting and continue to go on the bridges and put their Palestinian flags out? What would you say to them?
I would say to them,
this is a long fight.
Yeah, I would say that don't keep the seasonal or the seasonal Ramadan Muslims. I wouldn't say it to it like that. Like don't let this die out. Keep it persistence. The Palestinians have been fighting for over 70 years and they're still strong. You have generations who are lost, but their kids are growing up and still fighting. We can't stop just because we've done it for maybe 2-3 months. We're going to have to keep this going. This is going to be a long fight. And I feel like we're going to have to keep on motivating ourselves. We have the videos that we have the information of. Yeah. We got to stay consistent. And even in the Arabic, what is it? Istiqamat fawq al-karamat.
Yes. So.
We have to be consistent. I think that's the main point.
Same question. What do you say to those who are silent, not saying anything? And what do you say to those who are day in and day out speaking out and continue to do what their part, whether it's protesting or boycotting and so on and so forth? What is your message to them?
The people who are silenced, rather if you're a Muslim or if you're a non-Muslim, we already know what your stance is. And for those people, we should partake when you shouldn't have anything to do with these people. Partition them out from your life, no matter if it's your family, no matter if it's your imam, no matter if it's your murshid, no matter if it's your shaykh or whoever it is. If there is a spiritual leader that that you have that is silent on the matter, you need to change your state and you need to change your Shaykh.
Silence
Because
is
your
the greatest
murshid
defeat.
is not teaching you the correct way of dealing with things right now. Because imagine if Dajjal was in front of you right now. What would your Shaykh do? What was he going to do? He's going to side with Dajjal. Then what is going to happen to you?
You don't know what's in his
Then you're
heart.
going to be a murid of Dajjal then. So listen, again, the people who are silent, either educate them or either tell them or find another peer, because that's what your peer has taught you
Definitely
to
not
silence.
Chuf.
And definitely not him, because his dumb is not working. his bad breath, I don't know what he has. It's not working. But anyways, a change needs to occur first. And the people who are continuing to boycott, as Brother Zuhair said, this is not... boycott should be now transformed into a word called
Lifestyle.
cancel. And it's forever now.
It's a lifestyle.
So it's not, okay, temporarily, and next month we're going back to the drinks and the pop and the food and what we were eating before. Now it's canceled forever. We should be we're dealing with those people, khusus, Muslims with Muslims, and those people who are siding with the Palestinians. And this should be known. And we should not be quiet. And the imams and the masajids who are continuing to do their work is educating and continue to educate the people and regards to the Palestinians.
MashaAllah. That was episode 3, dear viewers. I want to thank Shaykh Aamer and Maulana Zuhair
Not a mul.
to help. Great student of the deen. Jazakallah for coming for part 2.
If your imam is not speaking, change your masjid.
So,
If your murshid is not
3234 Eglinton Avenue East.
if your murshid is not speaking about the matters, you got to change your state, meaning change your murshid. If your mentor is not speaking about it, then you need to change your mentorship,
Your
because
mentor
he's
is
not
mental.
teaching you anything.
Right.
And in regards to the boycotting again, keep continuing to cancel these items out and educate your children and khusus your women, because most of these products that are around it, you've seen that Zara now came out with this propaganda.
yeah,
And it was very disgusting to see this, because again, women usually go into these clothing stores. Educate our women, educating our sisters more, because all these products are targeted towards them, and the men should be aware of this.
and boycotting is not haram, right?
No, boycott is never haram. Why should we boycott?
MashaAllah.
Boycotting haram. Hazrat Lut alayhi salam's wife. Hazrat Lut alayhi salam's wife sided with the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. She just sided. And then she was
punished.
tortured and killed. You're siding with them only. So what happened? You were trying, Hazrat Lut alayhi salam was boycotting, and she was siding with the other people. And look what happened. This is the anjam. So you don't want this anjam to happen to us as well.
Inshallah, it won't. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free Palestine, free Masjid
Ameen.
al-Aqsa, free Al-Quds Sharif.
Ameen.
Give help to those in Gaza and all of the West Bank, all over Palestine. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah, viewers. Thank you very much for tuning in. This was Palestine Part 2. Palestine Part 2.
Please, the economical people that is out there, the trees are in need to be grown again in Palestine, if not for the sake of human beings, but the sake for the animals
cats and
that
the
are
dogs.
there. The cats and dogs need water too.
The rats need food.
The trees need water. They need to be grown again. If it's you don't care about the human beings, but at least you care about the environment. Please, and they keep bombarding this beautiful country of ours called Palestine with these bombs, and they're destroying the ozone layer. But you have yet to say anything with the followers of David Suzuki.
Jazakallah once again. Let me cut his mic off so I can finish. We appreciate Shaykh. We appreciate Shaykh Aamer and Brother Zuhair.
Question your science teachers. Question them. Children, question them. So what are you doing to the ozone layer, for God's sakes? What are you doing? You're destroying it. In every angle, you're hypocritical.
Field trip to Palestine.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Make sure you tune in for episode number 4, which is going to be great. And I'm going to leak it out now. It's going to be about conspiracy theories. So we're going to touch on that. And there's going to be a lot more new content coming in, especially going into January. We appreciate the love and support. Follow on Facebook and on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. A lot more content coming in. Continue to show the love. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Only eat dates from Palestine in Ramadan.